Mr. Know-It-All, JD here. Good to have you on board. Got a T-shirt on here today. Don, can you read what it says there on the old T-shirt I'm wearing here? I have to move more towards camera.
There
left,
it is.
Your camera
Oklahoma right. Sooners.
Oklahoma. First one who could tell me the significance of why I'm wearing an Oklahoma T-shirt today gets a signed copy of my book, Have You Seen My Country Lately? America's Wake-Up Call. JD, your 6'3" ATM of Informacion, loaded up, ready to be accessed, wearing the Oklahoma T-shirt, the PIN 800-876-4123. Jesse producing, Don producing, and working the dials. Don wearing a tie. Must be a court date. He's screening your calls. Look at him.
Mike has the tie.
Yeah, I'm confused.
What did I say?
You said
Dawn.
Dawn.
Oh, Delta Dawn? What's that flower you've got on? Mike's got the tie on. He must have a court date. Don, you seem a little sensitive there. Did you just have a court date or something? That you came in the door and quickly took the clip-on tie off, threw the T-shirt on, everything
tired
good?
And cranky. Sorry.
Tired and cranky. Excellent. Well, you should be in Congress. Anyway, Mike is screening your calls at 800-876-4123. Poll question up there for you today at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Pollsters and strategists are grudgingly conceding Ron Paul's first-place tying 19% Iowa poll results, but they now say he's hit an absolute ceiling with no chance of going any higher. What do you say to this? 6% say he has hit his voter ceiling. 36% say he's climbing and going higher, and 58% say he'll be the Republican nominee in 2012. You can answer it there or here at 800-876-4123. I was looking at the comments of some of the splendiferous punditry that's out there about the ascending path of one Congressman Ron Paul. And they even had to concede in the Daily Caller that the result may indicate a path to the nomination for Paul. Wow. I'm like, do you know how hard it was for them to, like, can you see them there with their, oh, God, I can't write that. Oh, how can we keep them down any longer? Okay, fine, I'll just throw it out there and see what happens. Fine. The resulting poll Bloomberg information could indicate a path to the nomination for Paul. And as soon as they threw that out there, then everybody has to go, but. And it's the backpedal, 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 backpedal. Texas Republican Ron Paul, this from the Daily Caller, typically registers around 10% in national polls for the GOP presidential nomination, but surprisingly achieved a statistical tie for first place in a Bloomberg poll of Iowa voters. Surprisingly. It's like whenever people goes out, they come out and they go, in the unexpected unemployment news today, the unemployment rate, who did that shock? But now, in all of their efforts to try and avoid this guy, now they're having to go, damn it, look at, they won't come, these flies, these gnats, these inconveniences known as these Ron Paul supporters, they just like, the buzzing, I'm swatting them as much as I possibly can't get rid of anything. My fly swatter broke the other weekend. It's really, you know how hard it is to find a fly swatter? They don't sell them everywhere. And I found a fly swatter. It was bright yellow, and it had this flower on the back of the fly swatter. Like they were trying to be like politically correct version of a fly swatter. You just get, bam, you just can't swat flies.
This is the fly intimidator.
It's the fly, but then the flower gently rests on top of the carcass of the fly, and it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. Because we're becoming such a kinder nation these days. Oh, speaking of kinder nation, Don, have you gleed out? Because I gleed out a long time ago when Glee jumped the gay shark on Fox. Have you seen the latest episode of Glee?
Yes, I have.
Did you watch last night?
I did.
You did, so did I. All right, my name is Jerry, and I watch Glee. Don, go ahead, put your hand up.
All right,
yes. I watch Glee. Yes. All right, fine. We're both, but not former Gleeks. That's geeks of Glee. Former Gleeks, for whatever reason, I got home last night at like 8:20, so I was like not really in any kind of getting ready to watch something mode, or I didn't have anything DVR'd that I wanted to watch. So I'm surfing around, and there it was, Glee. So I get they got a dodgeball game going on, and the chicks were kind of, hotted up in their outfits, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. So I'm watching them play dodgeball. They're singing, dancing, playing dodgeball. This is kind of good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, whatever, dodgeball. And I go, oh, they're not really going to do this, are they? And then later in the program, The kid who's like the numero uno gay guy, because they got a lot of gay guys on the show. I get it. You're gay. Super duper. Glee is gay. Wow. Stevie Wonder could see that one coming. But the guy who plays Kurt, right? He was running for class president. He goes up to give a speech as to why people should support him for class president. And he says his platform is he wants to ban dodgeball because it promotes violence and hatred, and it's the modern day version of stoning. And I'm thinking to myself, I quit smoking pot? I mean, maybe that would have made sense if I was stoned or shooting heroin or smoking crack or something. But I'm going, is that what we've come to? You can't just sit down anymore and watch something to be entertained. Everything's got to have a message or an agenda. Every fly swatter has to have a flower on the back of it so you don't actually see what you did, bam, when you swatted the fly. These Ron Paul supporters, they're like flies. They want to swat them away. They want to get rid of them. They bother them. But now they're saying, oh, my God, there's a possibility that this nut job, this congressman from Texas, who I affectionately refer to in my book, Have You Seen My Country Lately, as Kook Texas, just because you have to put that out there because everybody says about him, oh, he's a kook. Well, he's a kook who's tied for first place in Iowa. Larry Sabato at the University of Virginia, Center for Politics, he said if Paul's going to make a breakthrough, he has to start in Iowa. A caucus state like Iowa is tailor-made to maximize the vote for candidates like Ron Paul. He has a dedicated band of supporters who will show up to vote in 3 feet of snow. No kidding. The other guys in the Republican Party, can you believe these Ron Paul supporters? They'd actually leave their homes in the snow to go vote for someone they believe in? Can't we just phone it in? Can't we just text 1 for this and 2 for that? You actually want me to participate? Then they say, with regard to his win in Iowa and how that's going to translate itself into something down the road for him, they say it's pretty much the end of the road for him because the Republican voters that were supporting the 4 or 5 other candidates will not easily transfer their support to Ron Paul because of what they call his distinctive stands on foreign and domestic policies, like fiscal responsibility and auditing the Fed and, taking a look at where we're spending our money overseas. Little things like that. Bloomberg's poll of Iowans found the Paul supporters were by far the most committed to their candidate. How dare they? How dare they be committed to someone, as opposed to the other supporters in the Republican Party who are basically singing along with Mitch. Wherever the bouncing support ball happens to be at that time, that's who they seem to be supporting. Let me hear Bachman. Let me hear Perry. Let me hear Kane. Let me hear anybody but Paul. Let me hear anybody but Paul. Mark McKinnon, former advisor to John McCain in 2008, how'd that work out, told the D.C. that he finds a Paul surge unlikely, even with public opinion vacuums created by sexual harassment allegations against Kane, Texas Governor Rick Perry's well-circulated oopscaf. There wasn't the oopscaf that took Rick Perry down. It was about a half a dozen other things that were slightly more important. And McKinnon says he believes Paul's 19% showing is an absolute ceiling. He's hitting it now. There's no chance of him going any higher. Do you agree or disagree with him? 800-876-4123. Now, here's something to consider. There's a big difference between followers of public opinion, of popular opinion, of popular spin, and manufactured candidates than people who truly get behind someone and have a real belief in that person and what that person stands for. And the supporters of Ron Paul have withstood just about every type of criticism that can be thrown their way. That they're a cult, that they're fanatics, which is where fan comes from, that they're blinded by their enthusiasm for him, that they can't see just kind of what a lunatic this guy is. As opposed to the other supporters of the other supposed leaders in the Republican field that are up one day and down the next. Up one day, down the next. Done with him, move it out. Next one here, Rick Perry. Build him up, he's gone. Herman Cain, build him up, he's gone. Michelle Bachmann, build her up, she's gone. The consistency of the supporters of Ron Paul should tell the other candidates and the pundits who are trying to invalidate Ron Paul that when you actually believe in things, when you actually stand on principle, when you actually adhere to the Constitution, the rule of law, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, get government out of our way, let us live our lives, let us be the determination of our own future, let us see if we succeed or fail. Maybe if they had some of that, they wouldn't see their Mount Everest climb and descend numbers climb and descend the way they have. Maybe the consistency of the Paul numbers by the Paul supporters should be a message to the others in the Republican Party that you have to stand for something and not just for yourself. Stand for something over time. Let the electorate catch up to you, because what Paul has been talking about and his supporters have been supporting, if anything, has been consistent, and it has not wavered. Even in the face of criticism, in set-up mock situations where there were attempts being made to tear him down, to eliminate him, to minimalize him, to get him out of the race because he's just a crazy old man with some crazy old ideas about some notion about the way the country used to be, this nostalgic view of the adherence of law and the principles of the Constitution, and the belief that our founding fathers had more faith in us than they do in the institutions that want to control us now. Maybe if they just grasped a little bit of what these people believe in about what their candidate believes in, then maybe we'd be able to believe some of the other candidates are more than just professional politicians.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Ron Paul's 19%. Absolute ceiling. He's hitting it now. Someone else hit a ceiling. Nancy Pelosi. 5 years ago today, Nancy Pelosi became the first woman Speaker of the House in history that she had broken the marble ceiling, as they were referring to it then. If she could break that ceiling, why can't Ron Paul break the ceiling that they've built over him to try and keep him from going any higher? 800-876-4123 is the number. Emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Jack Hunter, the blogger extraordinaire for the Ron Paul campaign, the Southern Avenger, is going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour. And when we get back, Steve in Oklahoma is going to give you the reason why I'm wearing an Oklahoma t-shirt today. Stick with me.
The Jerry Doyle Show.